The station of the stars. RTI.
Certainly is, and it's Eric Wiltsher at the helm, and I've left the fan on, so I better go and turn it off in a minute when I've got Uncle Leigh and Auntie Rach talking to each other, because they keep calling me Uncle, and I don't like Uncle. It makes me sound old. I mean, Leigh, I've got a song ready for him for Christmas, because it was a Christmas hit, and it's by a guy called Clive Dunn, and it's actually called Grandad.
Oh dear, oh dear. I'll get him. I will get him for that.
Oh dear, I'm going to play it on Christmas Day as well. Morning, Leigh.
Good morning, how are you?
Well, you can talk to Rach while I turn the fan off.
Well, we only got one fan now.
No, I've left the aircon on. I've got to go turn it off or I'll be poorly.
Aircon, that used to be an airline, didn't it? I've flown now.
Yeah.
You there, Rach?
Yeah, I can't send you this list.
All you've got to do is stick it up.
No, I'm on my phone.
You're on your phone?
I can't. I'm on my Skype Lite situation on my phone, and I can't attach things or do anything.
Just dictate it to me, Rach. It'll be fine.
Just do what? Dictate it to you? Yeah.
Oh, this is wonderful. Professional radio at its best. Leigh Banks has lost the list. Marvellous. Absolutely flaming wonderful. Quick hellos to Finn Ryder, who's just, well, he's now listening to this programme and having just done the last one. What a guy. David Bloomfield's there, Roy Dennis, Simon Lee, Dave Bradshaw. Hello, Dave. Dave says, hi, Eric. How it going looking good? Yes, I got that, Dave. I fully... Have you been on the sherbet dabs already? Or was it the wine gums, maybe? Steve Mann's in the house. Afternoon, says Steve, in his normal, inimitable style, which goes, afternoon. And he's ready for a battle with Mr. Banks today, that's for sure. And
thank you very much when I'm defeated and destroyed.
He'll defeat you every time.
He's never defeated me yet. Bring it on. Bring it on.
All right. Hello to Goza. Now, that's a funny name. That's a really nice name. I like that. Hi to Ty as well, over on...
Hi, Ty. If it was Italian, it'd be hi, Ty. You're wrong to make the best of it.
You did. You made a huge mess of that, didn't you?
I completely cocked that up, if you forgive me.
Yes. And as requested, we... Oh, this chat rooms, they really put me off. Steve says, good. Glad to see Frank Sidebottom is here. That's Leigh, by the way. And as promised...
Have some information on him, please.
No. and as promised, we have the Christmas tree in the studio. We have invested so many... half a cent to get this Christmas tree. There is the one bauble. You can see the one bauble if you're watching on the telly, and wherever you are watching on the telly. This
he had the op ages ago, ladies and gentlemen.
There are. Oh my word! I just realised.
Hitler.
I've just realised something.
What?
Oh, there's 3 webcams in here now.
Are they all hidden covertly so you can see ladies? When they're
No, Nanette. No.
I can see if it's called Nanette now. He's lost it. He's gone. Come on, Steve. All waiting for you.
Oh, wow. How about this? I'm going to read this out. This is lovely. And we've got some guests coming. This is from Roy Dennis, who says, hi from the Philippines. Hello, Roy.
Hello, Roy.
See you all again in February 2018. Love, Roy and Yoli. Just off to perform the A venue, he. Whatever that means.
Something's hilarious.
Something's hilarious. Right. Okay. So we're going to see Roy. Yeah, we're going to see Roy in February, and he's in the Philippines right now. Marvellous.
And he's with Yoli.
Yes, Yoli.
Which means he's on his holidays.
Yes, absolutely. Just off to perform the A venture.
Roy,
what the devil is the A venture?
Adventure.
Adventure?
Didn't you? He's lost his D's. He's got his... Yeah.
Steve says, Christmas tree. So that's where the budget for the H2S has been spent then. That didn't work on anybody, did it? Nobody understood that.
Yeah, I did. I understood it because the HS2 thing runs by my front door.
No, I haven't got a jumper yet, David. That will come next week because otherwise, it's getting we're little bits at a time, little bits of Christmas at a time. And next week we might add the jumper. Or you could see the costume that's being made for me.
Oh, no.
For our karaoke on Wednesday nights.
Oh, for God's sake.
Which reminds me to remind everybody, if you are in and around Poprad on Wednesday night, the Poprad English group will be holding its Christmas party, complete with karaoke, which Gaby's looking after. Because I'm not going to do anything. I'm just such a lazy boy. I'm delegating everything.
Thank God I get there the week after.
We might have a rerun.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Can I just say so? I just before we came on the air, because Rachel's coming to visit us very soon, I just said that Andrea asked if she has any dietary requirements. She said yes, just food.
Yes, I can imagine that. Ian Goddard is with, as is Penny Worcester, and the lovely Arthur Sutherland, who is actually a bit of a radio hero, that young man. Really is. So good afternoon. Oh, no, it's good morning where you are, isn't it, Arthur? Good morning. But Steve has actually added, don't go Giles Brandreth on the jumper. Steve, I won't. Trust me. The last thing I want to do is look like Brandreth. Oh, for goodness sake.
I think having a Giles Brandreth on your jumper would look really good. In fact, I think I might have a look for one.
All right, then. And we've got to say happy birthday to somebody. Because my brother David is 89 today. Not.
Oh, that's terrible. I'm sure he's not. And I'm sure he's a lovely, kind, wonderful man who I'd love to have a cup of tea with. Happy birthday, David.
Yeah, happy birthday, Dave. We'll be nice to you.
Do you know what he'll do now, don't you?
Are you his little brother or his big brother?
I'm his big brother.
And his little brother?
No, I'm his big brother.
Just his big brother?
Yes.
See, big brothers are bullies.
Now, you see, what I love about the Slovak language is when you have a little brother...
Big brother, little brother.
They are called a malobrat.
Brat?
Yeah.
That's very cute.
David Bloomfield says, good name for a brother. Happy birthday, David. And Steve Mann also says, happy birthday, David. Now, you know what my brother's going to do now, don't you?
Don't know.
He'll be recording all this, and he'll be editing all the happy birthdays to put them in a jingle.
Happy birthday, David.
David, make it your ringtone.
No, it'll be worse, Rachel. It'll be on some huge, great sound system. And whenever he sort of goes out, there'd be people going, hello, David, hello, David, hello, David. Hang on. Starts my job at Holborn Park, Bournemouth, as the entertainment manager playing keyboard, guitar and vocals in about 90 minutes, lol. So enjoying the working holiday. It's 8 p.m. here. Have a good show, Eric. The A venue is a large performance venue in Makati? How do you say that, Leigh? M-A-K-A-T-I. Makati?
M-A-K-T-I?
No, M-A-K-A-T-I.
Makati.
And apparently it's in Manila.
Manila. That's an envelope.
It's in the Philippines with Roy. Arthur says, thanks for the great compliment. I never knew I was held in such reverence. You are, Arthur. Flipping heck. Flipping heck. He's been.
I feel the reverence. I feel it.
It really is. And he says, I can't imagine what I've done to deserve it. You've done loads, Arthur, in your life. You young. He's a young senior citizen.
Oh.
Isn't that nice? A young senior citizen.
That's lovely way to
we better get on with the news a bit, hadn't we? And very sad news to start off with. Oh, hang on, I've got to do this. Mac-R-T. It's pronounced Mac-R-T, says Roy.
That's what I said.
Oh, now see what you've done, Roy. He'll never get his head out the door now.
No, he's put an R in it. He's cheating. It's McCarthy. He's put an R in it. McCarthy. There's no R in it now. Whoever you are, I forgot your name.
No, he's writing it properly, like the BBC would write it in the phonetic language. That shut him up, didn't it, Rach?
Yeah. Has he gone?
I think so. Hello.
I was just playing.
I thought, oh, good, now I don't have to dictate the list.
And a very good afternoon to Samerton as well. And Dave Fuller says, what, no vinyl players? Oh, ho, 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 ho. Oh. Dave, we did try to use vinyl once, but I couldn't squash it in the CD machine. It wouldn't fit.
Yeah, it ends badly.
Yeah.
Smelt it first, pour it in.
You can if you put them in the oven, because then they shrink.
That's true.
Hold them up, stick them in.
Yeah. I just can't afford the needles anymore. Well, actually, the truth is, Dave, I ran out of... only old radio jocks and DJs will know this. Dave, the truth is, I ran out of pennies. That's the problem. That's why
I've
no
not
vinyl
got
decks.
one of these jokes today, Rachel. Have you?
Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about half the time. It's just, you know...
Just absolutely...
Have you never taped a penny to the arm of a record deck to stop the record jumping?
No, because we're honest. We don't cheat.
And we also are in the decimal system in Australia.
Oh, right. Yes, of course. Anyway, we move on. We're not going to interrupt this anymore. We'll say hello to some more people in a moment.
I can't move on because I haven't got a list.
No, but you'll follow it. Really sad, really sad news. The great entertainer, Keith Chegwin, at the very tender age of 60, and after a very, very long illness, has passed away. Very sad news. He was one of those just amazing show people. He was a showman all the way through. And he was just brilliant. An absolute brilliant. He was the pinnacle of Saturday morning television throughout the sort of 70s and 80s. And he just made everybody laugh.
He didn't know, did he?
He did.
I think it's very sad that he's died, and he's been there all throughout our lives. And he was one of those iconic characters who, to be brutally honest, wasn't massively talented, but everybody seemed to like him. And then he went into the doldrums of a destroyed career through his drinking and everything else, and came back as a rather elderly man, sadly. But why does everybody say he was a genius? I can't see any genius in Keith Chegwin.
He was... Well, actually, one of the people he introduced to the world was Charlie Chook.
Charlie Chook was good.
Cheggers introduced him to the world.
Well done, Cheggers. At least you've done something to introduce something to the world.
Oh, lordy. Anyway, it's very sad to know that Keith was very, very sick, and a lot of his friends were actually saying that he declined going out. He declined having cups of tea with people, which he was very fond of. And I also know that a gentleman up near you, Leigh, actually, a gentleman called Vincent Bootle, but known to people who were at BBC Radio London at a certain time as Vin Bootle, and the man that kind of coached me in radio, funnily enough. Yeah. We had the same coach, me and Cheggers. But there you go. Steve says, very sad, I loved him on Swap Shop. He was good. He was like your older, nuttier brother.
That's what I mean. And I'm not disrespecting the man. I'm not trying to score points off him. He was very good. Yeah, he was. But in fact, was he good or was he just average and had got a nice smile and a bit of a wacky voice?
He was just brilliant. Dave says Keith was Saturday morning TV for a generation. Yeah, the trouble is, Dave, Leigh wasn't in that generation.
It's not that at all. It's not that at all.
He was too old.
We deify people of average talent all the time, and people of brilliant talent we tend to ignore. Keith Chegwin wasn't a genius. How could Keith Chegwin ever be classed as a genius? He was all right. He was average. He was a bit of a presenter, and he got a bit of
very, very clever. He really was. I won't have a bad word said against Keith. I really won't. won't.
I haven't said a bad word.
We have. We're going to submit. We've got to be posh now. Bit posh for a minute. we're going to say hello to Member of Parliament in Slovakia, Adi Akram, and congratulations on being elected as Member of Parliament, Adi. Well done, sir.
Yay!
Yeah. Hello to Joe. Gaby says, thanks for the promo, Eric. Does Rachel know that when she comes here, we're going to get her to sing?
All right. I don't drink anymore, so it'll probably end quite well.
And Joe, you're not that late, mate. I mean, you know, it's okay to say sorry you're late, but considering how late some of them are, Joe, don't you worry your little head about it at all.
Yeah, some of them turn up 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, I know. Really shocking. Anyway, Nevermore and Sanctuary rock singer Warrell Dane has died. We'll hand that over to Leigh.
Well, you can't really, because I haven't got a list.
Oh.
Yeah, you can. He had a heart attack.
Yeah.
He had a heart attack. He's 56. Another bloke who had serious problems with alcohol and suffered the rigours of depression and all sorts of things. Now there you have a very talented man who created some wonderful music and went through the agonies of art and being an artist. And sadly, the same as Cheggers, shuffled off this mortal coil too early.
No, true. Lexi, that is Far Eastern name, I'm sure. Lexi wants us to say hello.
Hello, Lexi.
Hello.
There we go. Then. See, we've done it. You won't get that on your average radio station, I'll tell you, chaps. There's real... Actually, you listen. If you're listening on the radio, it doesn't matter. But you listen. I'm going to pinch myself now. Ow! That hurt. You see, it's live. Proved it. Yeah.
I felt that. It's live.
Yeah, absolutely. God, it flew around the world. This is a phrase or a heading according to Leigh G. Banks. This man pushed the press right down into the gutter, and with his passing comes a new age of journalism.
Yeah, I think that's very clever. I think whoever wrote that is incredibly intelligent.
Yeah, there's three tumbleweeds rolling.
Why?
Max Clifford was at one stage one of the most powerful men in tabloid journalism. And the simple fact is that nobody really liked him. And everybody knew that he made stuff up, that he represented people of power and of fame and of celebrity. And he's the man who invented, what's he called? Freddie Starr ate my hamster. Yep. Freddie Starr never ate an hamster. And Max Clifford...
Excuse me, what paper ran that, and which paper did you work for?
I worked for the Daily Star.
And?
I worked for the Sun. I worked for the Sunday
And the Daily Star ran the headline...
Yeah, Freddie Starr. No, it was the Sun, actually, who ran that. No, because it was a good, funny story. It was a good story. And at that time, people didn't really care, particularly in the Daily Star was there to entertain more than anything else. It had a news team. Anyway, Max Clifford was then proved to be what most people in the profession knew, and his power slips away. And once he was removed from the tabloid world, the press, the tabloid press, started to clean up its acts. I'm not saying that he had total control or anything, but those kinds of stories were not coming forward. And now, if you look, journalism, newspaper journalism, has gone back to investigative kinds of stories and giving good backgrounds on celebrities and things like that. Yeah, I think single-handedly, Max Clifford destroyed the industry, or damaged very badly the industry that he was a major part of.
Okay.
And now he's dead.
Yep, this is true. I'm going to be serious for a minute, boys and girls, and I need your help in a little bit as well. Very sad news that police have released images of a lorry and a car that they want to trace. It's following the death of a woman who was hit, get this, by 4 vehicles, none of which stopped. This took place in Norwood Road in Tulse Hill, which is in South London. So if you're in around that area on the 11th of December, around 7 a.m, the police would like to hear from you, if it's at all possible. because they want to trace these things. And possibly one of the cars was a Mercedes, and there was a black car similar to a Vauxhall SUV. And if you were around there and you can give the police any help whatsoever, please do call Crime Stoppers, because that's, as you know, is very secure, and nobody will tell anybody who's calling and all the rest of it. But if you can help them, that would be wonderful. And I thank you very much indeed.
Yeah.
How does that happen? How does that happen? 4 different vehicles. How does that happen?
Well, if you want my opinion, and I'm not asking him to come back with all of his old stories again, but it sounds a bit like the Cray twins revisited.
Yeah, fair comment. There's a lot of gang violence in Britain today. Like you say, that's going right back to the 60s and the 70s. And that's why there are so many acid attacks. But basically, in simple terms, Britain has stopped caring.
I think you could be right. Steve was obviously not a fan of Max Clifford either. He says, I detested the man. I always thought he was guilty of something.
Well, he was. He was guilty of sexual assault, and he was guilty of trying to destroy his own image.
Steve, what link do I need to share on Facebook? Because I have no idea what you mean. Oh, the lovely Sylvia's there from Aqua City. Hello, Sylvia.
Hello, Sylvia. I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, actually, Sylvia, you will see Rachel in a couple of weeks because she's staying there. Hello to Marek as well, who's joined us. Come on, Steve. What? I don't understand. What link am I supposed to share? I've had a long day. I've been up early.
Yes, at all. He's such a liar.
I've had a long day.
I've had a long day. We've had a long day.
Oh.
Been a really long day.
Yeah, I agree, Helmut. I very much agree. I agree.
Who's Helmut?
Helmut, I suspect he's from the Germanic countries, but he's just said, Mr. Banks is very rude.
What?
He might not be from a Germanic country. He might just wear a helmet.
No, he spelt it helmet, like the proper Germanic way.
He might just be illiterate.
Well, either way, he thinks you're rude.
Yes, he just thinks you're rude. So there you go. Ha, ha, ha. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, okay, Steve, get it. What Steve's saying is we should share the story about the lady being hit by the car around Facebook. Makes sense. Yes, we'll do that when we're out of the studio, Steve. Some more tragic news. 4 children have died after a school bus was actually split in half in a collision with a train in southern France. And there was a lot. I understand where there was a lot of confusion in the UK, and let me explain it a little bit for those that don't come into mainland Europe. These crossings are very different to the old-style crossings that are still in place in a lot of UK areas where you have the gates and things. These are just poles that come down like a car park thing. And it is possible to get stuck in the middle of it if you're not smart. So we don't know what really happened at the moment. We do know the train was going about 80 kilometres an hour, which is about 50 miles an hour, thereabouts. And it actually just ripped this bus into 2. But they are still trying to find out what's going on. And there's no more to be said on it because they are trying to still reach people who may not know what was happening and why loved ones haven't returned. So we'll leave that at that point. The royal family remember the victims of the Grenfell Tower. Lovely to see them all together. Kate, William, Harry, St Paul's Cathedral, along with Mrs May as well. I don't know, did you see any of the service or the bit before it, guys?
No.
No, I didn't. But I think it was a very good move on the royal family's part to actually attend there with a full complement of people. It's as a PR exercise alone, it will not have done them any harm. And it's such a moving and tragic story. And this story still goes on. It's not worth going into now. But people check out what's happening at Grenfell Tower. Basically, nothing is happening. No,
it was one of the most tweeted and hashtagged items of the year as well. But the one thing that actually touched me quite a lot was the bishop who was at the beginning of the service talking about how we should be respectful and remember, but actually learn how to move forward from where they are and just help the families along, rather than just being totally morose about it.
Did you actually hear him saying that?
Yes.
And did you not think it came across as a bit sort of empty and false in reality?
No, because his posture, his body language was totally genuine.
Fair enough. I just heard it on the radio. I was surprised at the way he was saying it. But you witnessed it more than I did, so I'll rest my case.
Yeah, I think that's where vision does help you a little bit. I quite agree. We don't know the answer, and we still don't know the answer. Peter Kay has apologised to more than 1 million fans as he's cancelled his entire 100-date live arena tour for 2018. All he said is that and he's offered his sincere apologies, and he has said that he didn't take the decision lightly, but he said, and he's quite right, family first.
Yeah. Interesting story, though, because it says, going right back to what we were talking about, the tabloid world obviously focused entirely on Peter Kay and the mystery of what's happened in his life to make him act in this way. But rather than in the days of Max Clifford, where all sorts of bizarre stories would come out, they've actually respected his privacy. And ultimately, Peter Kay will talk about what's going on, and then it will become a big story again. But at least my profession is respecting people who are in crisis.
No, I totally agree. We'll do a couple of messages quickly. Joe says, I see the wife's got her shirt back. Metters, she would kill you for that. Do you know how tiny she is? For goodness sake. And apparently there's a good reason why Mr. Banks is rude. He's from Manchester, so of course he's rude.
Yeah. That's all I've got to say. Yeah, all I've got to say is yeah.
Dave is just saying, I've got to go. My battery's running flat, but good show. I enjoyed listening to it. Thanks, Dave. He'll have just got as it dies out.
Is that your David? Your little brother?
No, that's another David.
It's not David Rhodes?
No, that's Dave.
David Attenborough?
That's Dave. That's Dave the Rock DJ Fuller.
Oh, Dave Fuller. Okay.
Mm-hmm. I love this story. I really do. Last one before the break. There was a kind of meltdown in various media outlets who were gunning to find some kind of alien life form when there wasn't one.
Oh, don't be rude. Rachel, it really was a rocket, wasn't it?
Well, they don't know what it was.
They do. They actually have figured it out now. This mysterious cigar-shaped object is not an alien spacecraft. There is no.
He's just saying that with confidence, and you don't know. You can't prove that.
I've seen the pictures.
It doesn't mean it's not. It means that you can't make it out. Rachel, tell him it was a proper spaceship, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was Santa. He's just doing a couple of warm-up laps.
Santa cigar.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Anyway,
it must have been the worst Christmas present for the red top journalists ever.
What?
The fact it's not an alien spaceship.
It is an alien spaceship. This is a cover-up. This is a whitewash. We're all being invaded, but they don't want. Some of us are already have been taken over by aliens. You only have to look at people on the street. Look at the way they walk. Look at the way they talk. This world is being taken over by aliens.
It was put there by the Illuminati.
If you want, if Steve says, if you want aliens, just look in the UK Parliament.
Oh, look at any parliament, Steve.
I could go with that.
Look at the White House.
Fair comment.
Yeah, absolutely. We just squeezed this one in because we have got so much to get through today. A man has suffered a deep cut to his ear after he was bitten during a row on a train because he was talking too loud on his mobile phone and the man said, keep quiet.
So he bit his ear off.
Yeah.
What a wonderful place Britain is. Get justice where it matters. Bit his ear off.
So anyway, this is another plea from the police, actually. Apparently it took place on London Bridge, Peckham Rye, on the 6th of October, and they're still trying to find the man. There is CCTV footage that the police have put out, so it's on their site. And if anybody does recognise them, could you call the police on 0800 40 50 40? That's in the UK. 0800 40.
Hard to pick. He's got a lobe on the corner of his mouth.
He has, actually. Was the other guy Mike Tyson? Oh, ha, ha, ha. Or you can text 61016, quoting the reference 376. So if you can help the police with that, that'd be fabulous. We're slightly late already. We've got to take a break. We'll be back fast, and you can drink a cup of tea, or I can sneak out for something I shouldn't do.
No.
I won't. No, I won't, because I've been a week now.
From the heart of Europe to the world, this is RTI.
This is an appeal that I simply wish I didn't have to make. In this day and age, how is it possible that 1,400 children will die today from dirty water? That children like Elodie have to drink dirty water from rivers and swamps, risking their lives. Right now, you can help save a child's life. Text the word water to 70080 to give WaterAid £3. WaterAid has the expertise to install pipes, pumps and taps that will bring clean water to children at risk. They just need your support. In the next minute, dirty water will kill another child like Elodie. So please, don't wait to save a child's life. Text WATER to 70080 now to give WaterAid £3. Thank you.
If your dream holiday is 2 hours from the UK, perfect for children and teenagers, young couples and the older visitor, ideal for the physically active and for those who just want to unwind, Aqua City is the destination for you. Described by the Travel Channel as the place that will soon be on everybody's lips, be ahead of the crowd and the envy of your friends, but still enjoy a home from home. Come to Aqua City Poprad, the world's leading green resort.
From the heart of Europe to the world, RTI.
That'll be us then. It's Postcard from Poprad, live. No recordings here. And it's a Friday, because we're here every Friday with Leigh and Rach. And we have another question.
Oh.
The question has flooded in.
What is it?
What was that sound?
What
the dickies was that?
That was me shutting the studio door that somebody left open when they went to put the kettle on.
Can't you get a can of oil and fix it?
No, I hate it because it sounds like a haunted house.
Got to have it for the haunted house. I've said it 100 times. Oil that door. I might do it.
Yeah, you do it, Rach. Yeah, 'cause at least it'll get done then. You do appreciate, Rach.
I've stuck butter on it.
What?
Butter.
Jesus, that's so old.
Did you hear it? What's so old? I don't have old butter. It's brand new butter. I just stuck it on it.
But it won't work unless you warm it up.
Well, it gets warm when you do. You get friction.
No, not buying that one.
I want to get out there with the WD-40. I'll sort it out.
I don't quite know how to do this one because I know what's going to happen, Helmut. When I ask the question, Banksy's going to go off into one.
Okay, here we're ready.
Where did you find Leigh, says Helmut?
At Mensa, where he found me.
Yes, of course. I did. He found me for a bilberry bush. It was lovely. I was just
in the cabbage patch.
Oh, cool. I've got to do some more hellos. I've got to say hi to the girls over in Rest Park.
I'll be back.
And they are doing the lunches at the moment. They're working hard. Wendy Ansell is there. Goes, hi, Eric. It's Wendy. I know, Wendy. It's you. My gosh. Over to Bratislava, say hi to Hanka. Miranda is over there in Holland, who says, proud of you all. Keep up the good work helping the police.
Oh, yay.
That's nice.
That is nice.
That is nice. Gaby wants to know where Teddy's hat is. It fell off. He was at the wine bottle. I mean, can you see you can't quite see in the background over there. There's an empty whiskey bottle. That was full up last week.
Teddy's a lush.
Drunk it.
And Teddy's a lush. That's why he's sitting a bit wonky today, you see. Although he did say to me before we came on air, do you know how he did it? Ted said, I want to look at the Facebook camera today. That's how he said it to me. Such a bully. Such a bully.
Very forthright, isn't he?
You see, the thing is,
what?
He's a German Teddy, isn't he, Helmut?
This is true.
Helmut.
Oh, very droll. Very droll.
What?
You.
No, it's true.
Hi to Paul, to Martin and Chris. Surgeons admit this is terrible, this surgeon. He's actually admitted in court branding his initials on the liver of 2 patients. And he was nicked.
For the States.
I think he was just a bit forgetful. He was just leaving a mark so he could remember where he got to.
Yeah. No, I think that's a twisted man who needs to go to jail. That's
absolutely.
That's a flipping
He
lutely.
really can't do that. I mean, he's not painting a picture and signing his name at the bottom of it for crying out loud.
But there were other people witnessed him doing it. And I don't know how he actually got caught. Oh, I do, because somebody went to have a checkup on the work that he carried out, and they saw it. They saw that he'd been signing his name on their organs, and that's how he got caught. Why didn't the other people who were in the theatre with him when he was doing the operation, why didn't say, excuse me, you can't do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
You've got to wonder. Maybe they didn't realise what...
It's not... there's just something sick about that.
Absolutely.
It's unseemly. It's just unseemly. It's just... And then you got to wander around the rest of your life with some dude's initials on your insides. That's just not
a bit
right.
I mean, I must admit, I did have a trademark once.
You?
Yeah, when I was learning all about satellites in the very early 90s. And so I was out with some technicians and putting up dishes. And you know those little tiny keys that you get with a suitcase that are rubbish for a key, really? They're a bit more like a washer, aren't they? My trademark was to put one of them on the bottom bracket. So I knew it was my dish. I put it there, you see. Very proud. That's one of my dishes. And my mate worked it out.
Yeah.
And he said, I know where you put all your dishes. I said, how do you know then, Barry? He said, because you always put a key at the bottom. I've noticed. I thought, what a smart boy. What a smart boy. Steve says, and I thought I told bad jokes, Helmut. I think your joke didn't go down, Helmut. Didn't go down well. Never mind.
If I was to brand somebody's liver, I think I'd write Rach was here.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think you're right there.
I'd have just left some onions in there as well.
Well, something like that. We move on. Apparently, the UK is a nation of pill poppers. No.
We are.
Everywhere.
No, you're kidding me. You're absolutely kidding me.
Why?
Do you know what Martina calls English people?
Go on.
Druggish.
She's absolutely right. Absolutely right.
She is. They're terrible.
The ConsumerWatchFoundation.com.
God, blimey, 37 minutes before we did it.
Oh, I just realised I forgot. No, seriously, we have been looking into how much the average person costs the NHS. Unfortunately, the person who was working on that has now left the job behind. But we will continue to show it. And the fact is, the price of everything on the NHS is so exorbitant, it's ridiculous. And we are a nation of pill poppers. We take pills for anything. And we take medicines. Everything we do, we want to be healthy. Why don't we just get healthy and stop popping pills, you stupid nation?
Well, as a person who is forced to pop pills because of a brain disorder, I mean, you know, there's some things you just must take medication for.
Absolutely.
Like my condition. But like the other day we had to get, because we'll be overseas for a month, I had to get everything I could possibly think of filled so that I'd have enough to last while we're away, and it cost me $185.
Wow.
To get them all filled.
That's the thing. The ConsumerWatchFoundation.com is looking into the fact that if the NHS is such a wonderful thing as it's said that it is, and it's free at the point of use,
access.
How much?
Access.
How much does it actually cost for the average person to keep themselves relatively fit and stay alive? And how does that compare to how much money they paid in?
I've got a pet passion here, Lee. And I think and I'm going to be serious for a minute. I agree with you totally that people ask for antibiotics, and that's why we actually promote the non-antibiotic thing on RTI.
Yeah,
because we do. The other thing that frustrates me immensely, it's not just the UK, and I had this discussion with my asthma doctor one time, and he said, "Are you sure you don't want any tablets?" No. I said, "I've got enough to last 3 months. I don't need any more, because then the date will be wrong and then you'll have to tell me to throw them away. And it's a waste of money. I don't want... You go to people's houses and they have a filing cabinet full of drugs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Prescription drugs. Now my box is about the size of a tissue box, and I have to take lots of tablets, not because I'm a junkie with tablets, it's just because I have to. A bit like Rach, really, but not for the same medical conditions. But the thing is, I've got them in a little box. When I need tablets, when I'm about a week to go, before I run out, I go to the doctor, and I get a month's worth supply maximum, because I don't see the point in wasting money.
Absolutely not. But the Consumer Watch Foundation, you're misinterpreting what I'm saying. We're not really focusing on that. That was just what we're looking at is how much your average person over a lifetime costs the NHS, and how much over that same lifetime do they actually pay in. And there's no axe to be ground. It's just interesting to know what the reality is of how much the NHS spends and how much it gets in, and how much they see. A hip hop, for instance, is thousands and thousands of pounds.
Yeah, I know.
And when that's a regular operation, people go in, get treated for depression. That can take years and years and years of NHS money, and it's just looking into it. It's just finding out for the people.
Well, I remember vividly, because you remember this, when I was very poorly here because I had a burst appendix, and at the end of it, I had to sort of pay, I don't know, like 10 quid or something ridiculous. Hello, Jason, by the way. Jason wants us to say hello. And the doctor actually said, "Well, you've done a very good job for your NHS, Mr. Wiltsher." I said, "Why is that then?" He said, "We just calculated it. The operations that you had," because I had more than one operation because it was so bad, and the time I spent in intensive care, would have been valued at £25,000 in the UK. And their fee, this is what the Slovak medical system charged the UK for it, because I was still under a UK card at the time. They charged them £3,000, which would have cost 25 in the UK.
Yeah.
So I was a good boy saving the NHS money.
But isn't that interesting that what cost $3,000 where you are could have cost $25,000 over here? There's somebody we know who has a breathing problem and is getting, well, we don't really know what the truth of it is, but it is estimated that their treatment could be costing £20,000 a month.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's a wonderful thing, and well done the NHS for actually having the capacity to spend that kind of money on somebody.
Yes.
But it's interesting to know where all the money in the NHS goes. Not have accountants explaining it, not have managers explaining it, not have politicians explaining it. Let the people explain it and say, this is what we've had done and that's how much it costs.
Sure. And Steve actually mentions that he's disabled, so he must have the tablets, which he reckons costs them a fortune. But Steve, that's the whole point. The point of although people complain, and the people in England get this totally wrong. Yes, it is a medical insurance scheme in Slovakia, but it operates exactly like the NHS. In other words, you pay in your money through your wages, each month. Self-employed, you pay your stamp in a similar way, and then off you go with the medical treatment. You can also go private if you wish. It's up to you. But the care at point of access is free for you to have, especially in emergencies and the like. Yeah. So it's a very similar system, and it has to be said that the way in which it works here seems to be, and I know Marcus is going to shout at me in a minute. He's been shouting at me all week, saying, "Stop knocking England just because you live in Slovakia now." I'm not. I'm really not knocking it.
I knock England and I live here, Marcus.
Well, there is that to it. But the fact is, if a very small country can manage the way they do, then surely there's a management issue. And I'm not saying the way they manage. It's is there too many managers in the NHS? Is there too much paperwork going on in the NHS? Hello to James, and I think Mr. Banks is entitled to go a bit bonkers on this story, because once I saw it, I did look it up on the interweb and found a clip, and this is from the ITV programme, which is the morning commercial television programme in the UK, and the viewers are absolutely livid, because a mother of 6 children who lives on state benefit spends £2,000 on Christmas presents. The audience went nuts.
Are you surprised? This woman, and I respect people who have to take pills. I respect people who have to go to the NHS, and I respect people who are out of work or can't work for whatever reason and are on benefits. But this woman brags now of her benefits. She puts £50 a week away for presents. That's £200 a month. How many people who are listening to this show at this moment in time can say that they can afford to put £200 a month away for whatever?
I don't see how she could.
Not on a benefit, with an actual working wage, it's hard.
Yes, exactly. And for this one, wonderful to be able to buy your kid £2,000 worth of presents. But, really, is that what Christmas is about? And is it the fact that now this woman is getting everybody in the UK to give her money so she can spend £2,000 on her child, giving her a false impression of what Christmas is about? Christmas isn't about presents and money and cards. It's about love and affection and looking after people and caring.
Correct. Absolutely correct.
Yep.
Yep, all the way round. Which reminds me, on the 25th of December, a very unusual thing will happen. Well, no, it's not unusual. It's become a little bit of a...
it's Christmas Day?
Yes, the annual thingy. We've got to say hello to Mike Brand, who's joined us from Israel.
Oh, Mike Brand.
Hello,
Hey.
Mike. How you doing? Lovely to have you with us, Mike. And Stephen Clark's joined us as well. Oh, Mike, that reminds me, I've got some...
Oh, Stephen Clark?
Yes.
Stephen Clark?
Yes. Gosh. But anyway, I must remember to give you a buzz, Mike, because we got there's a group of Slovak people coming out to where you live.
It'll be a light year before he does, though.
Thank you very much indeed. And I'm sorry, I couldn't resist the headline. And I am guilty. The headline is, once a crim, always a crim.
What?
No.
Christmas?
No.
Not a very clear headline, is it, Rach?
It is if you're Australian.
Biggest bank.
Yes.
Yes, it is. It's the Commonwealth Bank, bless them. They're just... very recently, there's been a big argument toing and froing between the Liberal and the Labor Party about whether or not we should have a Royal Commission into the big banks here. And finally, everybody agreed that we probably should. And just as well, because there's this has been going on all week, 53,000 transactions by the Commonwealth Bank allegedly breached anti-money laundering laws. So there was 53,506.
We're going to run through a couple of stories very quickly because we haven't got much time left, and I want to just mention them quickly. A woman in New York has been accused of laundering bitcoins and other cryptocurrencies. Yeah, I hate them. Oh, I hate them. I really do. And
that's what they're designed for.
Yeah, and the reason why she's doing it, because it's to help the Islamic State, the so-called ISIS, the so-called Them horrible people. And that's why they should be controlled. Very sad news that Nikki, the Australian airline founded by Niki Lauda, I'm waiting for the jokes.
No, you say it louder. Won't make any difference. We're not going to comment.
He was great. He was on fire.
Right.
We didn't want to hear that.
I agree, Aidan. That was a cheap English joke, but she's not English, Aidan. Aidan, this lady is from Australia. Don't blame England for this one. You just can't.
You sent us here, you fools.
Yeah, we didn't send you there. You are indigenous. You are an indigenous population person.
That's true.
Put some money in the meter. Yeah, right. Where are we going to go? I've got so many messages to do. I'm sorry, guys. I am not going to get right through anywhere. I'm just not going to get everywhere.
Let's do messages and take the mickey out of them.
Why?
Yeah.
We got news. We still got some news to do. I'll tell you what. I'll run through the news quickly.
The news is rubbish.
Well, the next story you wrote.
Oh, all right then. This will be good.
I'm just not going to mention it. And another one was dozens of British schools are vulnerable to hackers.
I know.
According to a probe by a security research. That doesn't surprise me in any way, shape or form, because ITC in schools is absolutely terrible. We have to start tip reading, I guess.
Tip reading?
Where is the sound? What do you mean, where's the sound?
Who are you talking about?
Your missus says, where's the sound?
Who's my missus?
Your missus.
My woman person.
The squeaky door, and you can just hear him talking.
Actually, if this, we're coming back. Apparently, I'm sorry. This is on Facebook, by the way, boys and girls. The sound is good on the main website, says Steve Mann, but it's not very good on Facebook. Sorry, I can't do much about that. It's not down to me. It's not my fault. It's Facebook's fault. But if it's coming back now, we're all right. We're okay.
It's coming back. I can hear you.
Can you?
Yeah. Well, you haven't been away. I think everybody's making it up just to confuse you. Read the messages. Let's take the mickey out of the people.
No. Joe says, I thought it was my sound that had gone. No, it wasn't, Joe. Steve says, put some money in the meter. Oh, very droll. Very droll. Yeah. Very droll.
Oh, yeah, see where you come from, Steve.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Background, yeah.
Never mind, because they get the computers on the... What? I don't know. I can't read that. I can't follow that. Andrea does confirm that we are now back.
Is that my missus, Andrea?
Yes, I told you she's watching. No. She's just listening to make sure you behave.
Well, that's not going to happen.
I behaved very well this morning. Ask her.
No, it's not possible.
Well, I don't know. Ask Helmut. He's got other thoughts.
Yeah, Helmut. He'll know.
Yeah. Oh, Lordy above. What should we finish? Shall we finish on the trending Google things?
Yeah, with the people. I thought the trending people were hilarious because, 3 out of 5 are perverts.
Actually, you're right. I hadn't noticed that.
What this is about? Tell me.
The trending people. Number 1, Matt Lauer, pervert. Number 2, Meghan Markle, not a pervert. Number 3, Nadia Toffer, not a pervert. Number 4, Harvey Weinstein, really a big pervert. And number 5, Kevin Spacey, the biggest pervert of all.
Allegedly, because he's not been nicked yet, has he?
No, he hasn't.
Not sure if he's actually been.
They've not been nicked yet, so it's all allegedly.
Here, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, can you hear it? The allegedlys now, after telling me off last week, because I wanted to do allegedly.
They admitted that they were perverts, so that's a good start.
That's a different start, yes. And then apparently on global news, it was Hurricane Irma. Bitcoins, Las Vegas, that terrible shooting, North Korea, and a solar eclipse was the big one. And in elections, which I found very funny, the French election was at number 1, the German was at number 2, the UK election was a paltry number 3, number 4 was Utah, and number 5 was Georgia. Doesn't say a lot for the UK, does it?
It doesn't go out. The UK.
It's quite interesting what people are searching for. What they're searching for is interesting. Searches on Hurricane Irma then iPhone X. Look at all these Apple things making the top 5, Uncle Eric.
Oh, here we go. And I've got about 1 minute to do the last story, which is probably the biggest story of the week anyway. And I understand the whole point of why Mr. Murdoch's done this. Two of the world's biggest media and entertainment companies have they've gone past the starting blocks, which will mean that Disney will take over 21st Century Fox, which also includes B-Sky B, or Sky, call it what you will, as part of the deal, which I'll just clarify for people, is that the complete takeover of Sky will take place in the UK before the deal is finished with Disney. So in other words, what's happened is, rather than get into all sorts of arguments about who owns what, where, how, when and why, and plurality and all the rest of it, 21st Century Fox have got rid of everything apart from the stuff that they want to keep, which means they won't have to go through loads of jumping through hoops to buy B-Sky B. And of course, they now have shares in the Walt Disney Company.
That's right.
Yeah.
So they're going to make a fortune out of it. Nice move.
Good one.
Hulu.
It's brilliant. It's just brilliant. Just brilliant. And with that point, we have to say, Rach.
Yes.
Are you packing already?
Oh, yeah, I started packing 3 weeks ago because I've got OCD. But I have started packing. We head off on Sunday morning. And I won't be with you next Friday because I'll be on a train somewhere between London and Sunderland, I believe.
Oh,
so
right.
I won't be with you then. But I might be. I don't know. We're catching the Euro stuff for us on Friday. So, but then I will be with you the following week, direct from Uncle Leigh's house.
Wow.
Yes.
I'm very excited.
Yes.
I am as well.
Oh, right.
Tell you want to see the skate I'm in.
And I've got lots of presents for all of you in my case.
Ooh.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Australian presents.
Oh, yum. Lee.
What?
Where's Sooty?
Where's Sooty? Sooty is resting at the moment next to the big hairy thing, and they look quite happy together, quite pretty.
I'm gonna have to fade you out. It's too late. You missed your chance to say goodbye. I'm just fading you out, boys and girls. That was Postcard from Poprad. We'll be back next week with Rachel, Leigh, and myself. Thank you for your company on Facebook, on YouNow, on Ustream, on Vaughan Live, on TuneIn, and there's just too many to mention. I can't keep up with it all. See you next week. Bye bye.
The Station of the Stars.
RTI.
RTI.